Hey everybody, welcome to the cast. This game will actually be game 2 of a 2-game series between Shadows of the Lost and Western Wolves. Unfortunately, we missed the first game and weren't able to cast it, but like I said, this is the second game of a 2-game series, so it will not be a best of 3. Thanks. This is Western Dota 2 League. It will be Western Wolves versus Sha, S-H-A. These two teams are playing the second game of a best of 2 series. And Western Wolves did take the first series. It will be myself, Charlie, casting with Ann and Steve. You guys want to go ahead and say hi?
Yeah, sure. I'm Steve. I didn't even say that.
I'm Annie. You can call me Android if you'd like.
And we do see the Dire have the first ban and first pick. Let's see what they bring out here. I'm gonna guess the sniper.
Oh no, the troll.
We'll see if they ban out the whole.
With that current meta.
Yeah, we'll see if they ban out the whole spin to win lineup.
Would that be a Juggernaut up in there too?
And Axe. We're seeing a lot of Juggernaut, Axe, and
banning out the Shadow Fiend. They want to get out the early damage. They want to make sure they're in control of this game. Alright, Juggernaut is banned out. Good.
Alright, I'm banking on the Axe here. Nah, I think it'll be Sniper. I don't actually know a lot about either of these two teams, so we're going to have to just go by generic... Well, I'm just going to have to go by the meta right now, which, yeah, you see a lot of those three heroes. Yeah,
Sniper is banned out, yeah.
Yeah, so it does look like Western Wolves is going to be focusing on the mid lane bans, as those are two pretty heavy dominators in this meta for the mid lane.
We'll see where the Lina goes then.
So first Dire pick, we got Lion. Alright, so it's definitely they're picking up their supports first, and they want very versatile, all-around, reliable stun, reliable damage.
Honestly, I love the Lion pickup usually because you just have that ult that just is able to almost one-shot these low-health agi carries. And I've always thought he was a very strong support, so I'm glad to see him seeing a lot more play these days.
Are you a fan of early ags on Lion, or do you think it's very situational?
I'm usually a carry player, so when I play Lion, yes, I love ags. I KS everyone.
Alright, we have the Axe picked up rather than being banned out by the Dire.
Now, I'm wondering if we're going to see this as a laning axe or a jungle axe, because in a lot of pubs, you're going to see this as a jungle axe, but in the pro and possibly semi-pro scene, you see this more as a laning axe, I feel. And there's the Lina.
Yeah, so we saw a support Lina in the last series we cast, but it wasn't all that effective in the support role. It was much more effective as a core mid role. So certainly could be seen as a support, but I would imagine it's probably going to be mid, especially with their bans as far as going against the Sniper and the Shadow Fiend.
I honestly would have preferred them to let the Shadow Fiend through if they were picking up a Lina, because Lina stomps on Shadow Fiends. Or at least that's what happened a couple of games ago.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on how you start the lane mid, because if one takes over the other... Alright, there's a Queen of Pain picked up.
The thing is, Shadow Fiend doesn't really have the kill potential against the Lina, because Lina has such long range and good long-range nukage that, using her abilities, and when she picks up a bottle, she just is able to spam out all this damage. So Lina has the kill potential, and Shadow Fiend has the ability to stay back and farm decently well. But if anyone's going to take off in that lane, I think it's usually going to be the Lina. But we do see the Queen of Pain picked up. We'll probably see that mid. But we do see a lot more off-laner Queen of Pains these days. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her in that role either.
So you're assuming it's going to be a mid Lina rather than maybe a support?
I think it'll be a mid Lina. I would bet a uncommon item on that.
Alright.
I am that confident. I like my digital
Radiant
hats.
has another ban. They already took out the Tide Hunter last time around. They just don't want that huge AoE control.
10 seconds to go.
Yep. And Queen of Pain for me is a really interesting pick, especially because in this current meta, she can be run in almost any position. I mean, if you look at like the way teams have been running her, especially if you've got a really strong hero, like Team Secret was running her safe lane even for a little while. So, I mean, she's definitely versatile in this meta and can be put in pretty much any position.
I swear I saw a support Queen of Pain the other day. I'm not sure who did it. But it didn't work, but she has literally been run in every single lane role that I've seen except for jungle. And we do see the Vengeful Spirit.
A very versatile support in pretty much any lineup. She can contribute a lot.
Yeah, she's extremely popular. I've actually seen her have a little bit of a fall off these days, but she is. I mean, she's been popular for so long now. This meta, last meta. I mean, she brings so much to the table. She saves the carry. She suicides and makes them all deal less damage, and an immediate tiny pickup. And I'm wondering if we're going to see a Wisp here. I would like to see a Wisp, and because I don't think that the Western Wolves can really pick up the Wisp for a block pick very easily. So I think there's a lot of space for this tiny Wisp combo.
I think a Wisp will fit their lineup because they already have their Lion as a secondary support, and he's their damage dealer, so they can use a Wisp as the person that just schleps around the tiny and buys the wards.
Yeah, I could absolutely see the Queen of Pain going offlane with a tiny Wisp mid and a Lion and another strong laning carry top, preferably Troll, but Troll's banned out.
You'd put the tiny Wisp in mid rather than having them be in the offlane?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and yeah, definitely not in the offlane. But yeah, I'd say mid or safe lane, but preferably mid. But, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves because they don't even have the Wisp yet, so we're just speculating here.
Theory crafting a little too heavily.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the Western Wolves are really conflicted on this because they want to pick up the Wisp to block it, but they don't want to pick up the Wisp because it's a Wisp. But they really could. There's a lot of Wisp partner heroes available, and they don't have their carry yet. They could have an offlane Axe with the Lina mid, Vengeful Spirit support with a Wisp and Sven, maybe, bot. Something like that would work out pretty well. But I think that the Shadows of the Lost really backed Western Wolves into a corner on this tiny pickup.
I think another reason they might be hesitant about going Wisp is just the Axe Dunk, the Lina ults can just burst that little bubble down so quickly. It looks like the Radiant are going to pick up a Bloodseeker, so they're going a pretty aggressive lineup.
That's a very interesting pick, and we do see the Wisp come out for this tiny to partner up with. But yeah, we don't see much Bloodseeker, so I'm really happy we see a pickup like this. And I wonder if the Bloodseeker sort of meant it's kind of a counter to this tiny Wisp combo, because like you see where they're coming in, and so you can lay down this Bloodright and just go ahead and silence both of them right when they pop in.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid strategy.
Reserve time.
Alright, so last ban coming out by the Radiant. I think that they want to ban... I would prefer them to ban a strong laning core. Bristleback's okay,
yeah,
I
they're
guess.
banning Bristleback. And last ban for the Dire. Anything you think they're particularly scared of in that lineup? Looks
I
like
think
a
they're scared of a Witch Doctor. I think this I don't know if this Bloodseeker's going to be mid or jungle. I mean, the Axe could be jungle. There's the Western Wolves really did pick a versatile lineup because they have two heroes that are great for the mid. They have the Axe, which can go in all three lanes very easily. So it's kind of hard to say what their laning strategy is going to be. I think Shadows of the Lost have a lot more defined lanes. I think it's going to be tiny Wisp mid with the Queen of Pain off lane or safe lane. Lion supporting one another.
Reserve time.
We'll see
Alright,
what
they're on
this
the reserve time. They're trying to figure out what they can do to complete their lineup in the best way possible.
I was
Medusa.
going for a random, but Medusa's going to pick up.
Alright, Medusa
Kunkka.
versus Kunkka as the last pick.
Kunkka, I really like the Shadows of the... Well, okay, actually I like that we have a Kunkka, I like that we have a Bloodseeker. We get a few new faces into this game, because
Do you think
these are two heroes
it
there.
could be Kunkka mid?
Hmm?
Do you think it could be Kunkka mid?
It could be, honestly, there are three great mid heroes on this Shadows of the Lost lineup, but I think it's going to be a Kunkka safe lane, Queen of Pain off lane, tiny Wisp mid.
Yeah, I can
But
go
yeah.
with that. I'm gonna guess that's the way they'll run this. Now the question
But this
is,
could
does Western Wolves run Medusa mid? Do they run Bloodseeker mid? Do they run Lina mid? I mean, they have a lot of choices as far as what they
Yes,
run.
they do. Both of these are hard to really pin down. I probably wouldn't give more than like a 40% on any lineup guess on any lanes. But yeah. So Annie, do you want to go ahead and introduce the Radiant lineup? Oh wait, I need to put on that combo thing on the console.
I already
I'm not
did.
used to.
So you can go ahead and introduce while Steve's messing around.
All right, so on the Radiant, we're going to have a Link to the Past on the Lina. We're going to have, stop moving around, Relic on the Medusa. Looks like T-Link on the Bloodseeker. Raka on the Vengeful Spirit. And finally, it's going to be Snorlax Dota on the Axe.
All
And
right.
then on
Alright.
the Dire
On the Dire lineup, on the Dire
We have-
team, we have generic human male on the Wisp, Riptide on this Tiny, Wilson on the Kunkka, and we have Sir Loath on the Lion, and on the Queen of Pain, we have Broham. And we do see the axe coming in from behind this Queen of Pain. I think the axe has a ward, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, he has a ward, he's going to throw it out to block this camp real quick.
Down bottom, it looks like the Radiant are all ready to snatch this up. They have 4 of their heroes there for this bottom rune, so...
Yeah, I don't think this lion will go in on this. If he does, he's going to be a very dead lion. And yeah, Dire team throw a lot at this.
Kunkka's going in deep, going to trade blows with his axe, but it looks like
In 3,
they will snatch up this top rune. And it goes to the Bloodseeker. Sorry, the IO up top and the Bloodseeker down bottom.
Yeah, I think they just want to give a fastball out for this IO. And it
So
looks
it
like
is
we
the
do have
Tiny
a blood,
Wisp mid.
and we do have a Bloodseeker mid as well. So this is going to be a support Lina, which is what I wasn't expecting, but not too surprised after seeing them pick up the Medusa the 5th.
So it is a support Lina supporting this Medusa. They're trying to get her as much farm as possible. And they put her with the Lina, so the Lina just has as much range as possible to keep all the Dire heroes back and let this Medusa get as farmed as possible. Is this a dual mid? Like dual versus dual mid?
Yeah, it looks like it. Vengeful
right.
Spirit backing up this, backing up T-Link on the Bloodseeker. And we do
Bloodright
see a
coming out.
Bloodright coming out. Jinx.
Just trying to zone out this Tiny Wisp combo as best they can.
So
Up top, the
that
solo
does-
axe is taking some damage from the Queen of Pain. But
It's
he
very
should be just
interesting
fine.
skill build by the Bloodseeker. He's got 1 point in Bloodright, 1 point in Thirst, but no points in the Blood Rage, which I feel in early Blood Rage is really important for Bloodseeker, simply because like it's so hard the last hit against Bloodseeker when he has that Blood Rage
Oh, down
on
bottom,
him.
it looks like Lina's going to get a stun on the Kunkka, and Medusa might be able to finish her off.
And that is a first blood going to the Medusa. That is exactly what the Wolves want. Boots coming out for the Bloodseeker. But yeah, as I was saying with the Bloodseeker, it's so hard to last hit against a Bloodseeker when he's got that damage application on himself. And so he just gets every last hit and every deny, and you can't harass him out because every last hit heals him like entirely. It's really obnoxious. And so that's why I'm a little bit disappointed to see this Bloodright coming out so early, because I don't think they have the kill potential to kill anyone.
So up top, we are going to have a haste rune, but only the Dire team will scout that out with the ward that they have up on the Radiant High Ground.
Charlie, have you muted yourself?
Nope. I'm just listening. Yeah, I mean, at this
Okay.
point, you guys are pretty much catching anything. I didn't really see anything. I mean, if we take a look at vision here, the Radiant side sacrificed a little bit of vision in order to block off that top pool camp. Well, it doesn't really look like the Dire side was going to try and pool camp out here.
Venge
do see
popping the
Vengeful
missile on the
Spirit.
Wisp.
Looks like it'll just be a little bit of harass. He does not have that bottle out yet, but
All
in the
right.
meantime,
Looks like the Tiny might be going down. Bloodseeker does grab a kill on that Tiny.
And I don't think that they're going to grab this. Oh, never mind.
I mean, Venge is hasted, so yeah, just feeding
Yeah.
it to the Bloodseeker, making sure he gets all the XP and money from that.
The lion looks like he might. Oh, he will not go down top. Never mind. But Queen Pain does jump
Actually,
on the axe.
is in danger, yeah. They're just
And
going
it
to
looks
man-fight
like
it out.
she-
Queen will live.
Yeah. She was. He was daggered up and just. He dove that lion pretty hard and trying to finish him off. He just overextended and Broham just jumped right on him and finished him off. All right, we do see a torrent coming out just to mess with Lena. Then
Catching her at the
throw-
trees, letting her know that she is seen.
yeah, just so he can get a little harassed with that Tidebringer. And we do see
I
the
like
Blood
his
Rage coming
Shadow
out.
Blade. It's like one of my favorite cosmetics in the game. Up top, the line is getting extremely low from the Battle Hunger,
Yeah.
but he will live.
Yeah, he does need to remember that with Thirst out on the field, he's always going to be visible. So if anybody rotates around, they'll have an easy pick. But he's going to head back to base anyways.
They're giving the Wisp a little bit of farm. He is one last hit away from a bottle. That'll help him out on the sustained mid. You do see the Vengeful Spirit stacking up this hard jungle camp.
That'll be a nice treat for Bloodseeker when he gets around to it.
Bloodseeker or Medusa? Or Axe?
yeah, either one.
Actually, there's so many people that could farm this stack here.
I think Axe is just going to be fed his top lane for a good long time. I think they're trying to get the Medusa and the Bloodseeker as big as possible, as early as possible.
Yeah, I mean, look at these last hits. I mean, you know, we have 18. Well, the Medusa's capping out at 18, with Axe right behind her at 18.
Oop, down bottom. Looks like Lena is going to try to take on this Kunkka, but she will get bursted right out of there.
But yeah, the Bloodseeker's close behind those two, and then you see the entire Dire lineup. Tiny is the highest one in the Dire lineup with only 11 last hits compared to the 20s of the top 3 Radiant. So Radiant are really getting a lot out of these lanes, and which is interesting because the Vengeful Spirit's also stacking up. So
Oop, down bottom,
even if-
Kunkka's trying to run for his life, and he might end up going down. Lena does get the last right click on him.
Yeah. So even with a support off in the jungle, stacking up, they are doing extremely well in these lanes.
Another Blood Right coming out mid. Looks like they're trying to get something out of that. They get the Wisp down to about half health with one right click.
Yeah, he's just going to stop it there. If he had kept on going, it would have just been an avalanche toss combo from the Tiny and finished him off. Let's see, the Axe.
Looks like Vengeance is going to grab herself a bounty rune on the top slot. And there's an unclaimed illusion rune on the bottom slot for whoever wants to grab it.
Looks like he's going to just go to the IO, fill up that bottle.
Toss coming out. And not going to do much to that Bloodseeker because he gets a last hit in between, so his health is just back up to full.
Axe for us is Queen Pain back to base. I assume she had a couple of Battle Hungers on her because she is almost dead. Invoker Sunstrike. Zeus ult.
Somebody do something.
Just IO relocate.
Yeah. So early on, I mean, if we take a look at the way things are going, we're looking at about a 2K experience lead for the Wolves on the Radiant side, and about 3,400 in gold. And I mean, they've got the 3 kills, but it's also efficiency gold across the map because when we take a look at last hits, they are the top 3 in last hits across the way. And they are winning all 3 lanes, so I mean, it's not an optimal start for Shadows of the Lost, but that being said, they do have a tiny Wisp, so you can't really count them out. I mean, certainly you can't count anybody out this early
Looks
in the
like
game.
Dire are trying to control this bottom Radiant jungle and see what they can get out of that without being caught out too much by this Medusa.
We did.
Well, Axe does get a kill on top lane, solo kill on the Queen of Pain. I don't know if this was Battle Hunger spam out or not.
it does look like
pretty
he
easy
used the
for him,
Calling
though.
Blade there, so.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Radiant
we
are
do-
setting up for kills
We do
mid,
see we do see a
but
Rupture
will
on.
Bloodseeker pay with his life?
Yeah, I think he's just getting a little
IO
bit
actually
aggressive
getting
there.
the
They end
last
up-
hit on Bloodseeker and getting the credit for that kill.
Yeah, so they find the IO, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Bloodseeker for an IO, and when you're in the lead like that, you really don't need to make those sorts of exchanges. I think he just got a little bit over aggressive and a little bit cocky.
And we do see the Lena coming in onto this line. She should finish him off. He's one hit away, and that should be
Yep,
the kill.
there we go.
The Kunkka's pretty low himself, but looks like he was able to slip away. One thing about you can't count out Tiny Wisp. It's kind of hard to go against a Medusa as a Tiny Wisp because Medusa can just pop her ult, and there's not much they can do.
That is true.
And this Medusa is farming like mad. She's topping this net worth by a whole 3 gold over this axe.
It's like
yeah.
Tiny's
I mean,
going
that's
to against
basically a
Grass and
Midas.
Bloodseeker, but not much comes out of that.
Yeah, so
Is he going to find this bottom rune? It looks like he will grab this haste rune.
Vengeful Spirit is smoked up top, and looks like it's going to be popped by this Kunkka, but she is stepping back a little bit. Looks like we might see a little bit of action mid. There's a Bloodright going out, and the Tiny is ruptured, and
Lina's stun, hitting right on the mark. And another double kill for T-Lank on the Bloodseeker.
yeah, he got relatively low there, but he ended up getting the kill on Tiny while Blood Raged and healed himself back up, and then found a second kill on Wisp as well, so now he's sitting at pretty much 2/3 health.
We do see the Blink, I think the Blink Dagger, Blink Dagger coming out on the axe, and that's how he's able to get that kill on the Queen of Pain. I assume Blink, Call, Stun, and then Culling Blade was probably the action there.
So, kind of the hallmark of how I always look at games is if you're at 1k
Axe
gold.
coming in to get some action on top lane. Looks like he will dunk this Kunkka right into oblivion. And Shout is off the mark. Queen of Pain wastes her ult for nothing. She really doesn't get anything out of that. And Lina's going in for a kill. She pops her ult. Will Axe be able to finish this guy off?
There's no mana for a Culling Blade, but that doesn't seem to matter. And he's going to keep on diving in, and not going to pay for it, though. Alright, just looking at items real quick, we do see the makings of a Yule's on the Lina, I suspect, with a Void Stone. Other than that, we see a Yasha on the Bloodseeker, another Yasha coming out on the Medusa.
Speaking of
Blink Dagger
Bloodseeker,
already
he is
up.
Invis chasing this lion, trying to get some good old surprise on him. Up through the top jungle, but he is the only Radiant hero in that whole area, and there's 4 Dire. I think it'd be a big mistake if he reveals himself right now.
He's Bloodseeker, he's overpowered. He should be perfectly fine.
Alright, he is no longer invisible, and he's hiding in some trees, having a little face-off with
Very
Kunkka.
sneaky Bloodseeker. Axe is coming in on this one, though. If they get a good Blink, Bloodright, I think that they can actually get 1 or 2 kills out of this.
Down bottom,
Oh,
Tiny is
no,
going to
no.
be chasing this Medusa. But
And yeah, we see the Blink, the Call, the Bloodright coming out. The line's about to be finished off with a dunk. The ship comes out by the Kunkka, and a missed dunk on the Queen of Pain.
Bloodseeker's
keeps on
not
going
done.
in.
He wants this Queen of Pain, but he will have to back out. Missile coming in on the Kunkka, but there's really no follow-up for that. And it looks like Tiny will be TPing up just to support the rest of his team.
We do see the Radiant Tower go down on bot. Bloodseeker's still chilling out here. He's being chased by the Tiny, but I think he's going to be perfectly fine. He does throw out a Bloodright onto this Kunkka, and it does nick him. And with this... oh, where's the clock?
This is just a really chaotic fight. It feels like no team knows exactly who they want to go on or where they want to initiate. It was a pretty drawn-out, spread-out fight, so I think it could have been a little more condensed on both sides, but overall I think the Radiant come out on top of that by a fair amount.
I think this Bloodseeker appreciates there being so many low-health heroes down here. He does not have the mana for a Bloodright, though, and he should really back up, because that lining... Well, the Lion's not 6 yet, so the Lion can't hurt him as much as he could if he had that ult.
Venge
You
popping
see-
down a ward in the dire jungle just keeps some vision for the Radiant, and possibly for Bloodseeker that wants to go roam and find some kills that way.
We do see the Bloodseeker not pick up a bottle. What do you think of that, Charlie?
You know, honestly, in this game, I'm not.
Oh, looks like he's gonna get
against it.
jumped
I
on
think he really
mid.
just wants to fight.
Shout is on the mark, and he will pop off a Bloodright, but he does go down.
Yeah, but that's a 2-for-1 for the Radiant team. It is a core and a support for a core, so I mean, but considering how far behind they are, it's about they actually the Dire team actually come out ahead on that one. Simply because that Bloodseeker was just so farmed.
Yeah, I think that's just indicative of the way the game's going. Not to mention, I mean, so you get the jump, and you think you're going to bring him down, and you end up losing too, and that's just the way the game is right now. If you're the Dire side, even a
Venge
sure
having
thing ends up not being a sure thing.
Venge having a quadruple stack in this mid camp on bottom. That's
Not too bad.
That's pretty nice.
And they got him a little bit low. I wonder if this is going to this Medusa. Medusa seems to be on the way now, though. And the Radiant team do spot this tiny Rip Wisp, but it looks like they're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, and Wisp has hit level 6, but did not level up.
Bloodseeker
relocate.
initiating on this Lion. He ruptures him up. Lion trying to hex him up and do whatever he can. He pops the ult, but Bloodseeker should be able to finish off this kill just fine. But will he pay for his life? There's 4 dire heroes. Angry at him, chasing him. They do get the tether slow off, and it looks like he will go down to the IO right click, actually.
It looks like, yeah, I think the Vengeful Spirit is about to get gone on here. But there is a Light Striker Ray coming up on this IO, and I don't think the Tiny has enough mana to do much. He has enough for stun or toss, not both. And
Great axe call right
jumps
there.
in.
Axe catch 2, the boat comes through. They end up catching a few with the boat and keeping a few alive, and now it looks like it's the Radiant side on the back foot. They've already lost 2. It's a 2-for-2 trade at this point, but Axe just trying to
Axe is still
fight
going
through
in,
this
but
one.
he is so low. Can he get him low enough for the dunk?
Axe
He's not
ends
even
up
going to
finding
dunk.
the
He's
kill,
just
but-
going to try to take him down right there. And looks like Axe will stay alive through this fight.
Oh, that was just
Ultra kill
man
coming
fighting
out
right there.
for the Axe. Snorlax Dota is absolutely wrecking the Dire team right there.
Is it just me, or are y'all getting a little bit of lag?
I'm not lagging at all.
Nope, just you.
Okay.
Medusa picking up the double damage. That'll be a nice little piece of farming help for her.
They don't have this stacked, unfortunately. She could stack it right now if she pulls back. She might just be able to kill it
Nah,
in
she's
time.
just greedy. She's taking it for the gold.
Yeah, but she can go back up right now.
Take it again. And I mean, the one thing that can be said about that fight is nothing was really
Oh,
happening there. But
there's a
whenever
relocate on
coming in,
this
they're gonna
Medusa.
Go ahead and go on the Medusa. It looks like they may actually, yeah. That was
Yep,
quick.
they get her down with a toss. But Axe is not happy about that. He does miss the call,
Yeah,
but he
but-
does get Battle Hunger off on the IO. And they're
There was
out.
a Lena ult up.
Axe is going in for more.
And there's a rupture on this Kunkka, followed up by
Bloodseeker's ready
Bloodbright.
to fight. Pipe is up for the Radiant team, so it looks like they'll be taking a little bit less damage, but they do all fall victim to that tiny avalanche. And it looks like they'll just kind of spread out and back it off after that. They do lose the Lion, but the Medusa is killed by the earlier Tiny Wisp relocate.
So fight recap wise, we've got the 2 kills in there, but actually it's another about 1,000 gold, a little less than 1,000, a little less than a little more than 1,000 experience. So it's another pretty good gain for the Dire side. However, they still are sitting around 14k golden experience down.
Yeah,
It looks like the Radiant are going to try to take this tower before the Dire can really step in and stop them. Although the forward
I mean, you
fight
can
is
look at
popped
the-
and they are chased off.
You can look at the net worth charts, and you know the Radiant have the top. Well, they had the top 4. The Lena and Tiny are neck and neck right now, and that just says a lot about this game. That Sport Lena is
Axe Claw coming in on the
with
blood, right?
this,
Lena getting tossed up and will go down.
Boat hits on 1, but it doesn't really do a whole lot in this fight, and it looks like they may disengage after really a 1-for-1 trade. And I mean, if you're the Dire side, I think you're pretty happy about that.
I think it's important to note that that whole fight, Medusa's just been up top, clearing out the lane, getting as much farm as she can, so she's not really needed at this point in the game, and she's just going to get huge if they leave her to do all that farming for, the next 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of 4v5 in this game. With this Medusa just off playing PVE. And she's
Yeah,
gonna
basically,
get
she's just been
back
farming
doing
creeps
that.
away from as much action as she can. She did get killed on that one time when she was farming her ancients, but other than that, she's just been a farming machine.
Yeah,
gonna
she's already
TP
got
down mid.
her. She already got her Manta, and now she's gonna take a. I think this is stacked. I'm not sure. It's hard camp bot. Nope.
Nope,
someone
just a single.
cleared it.
So she has gone for the Yasha. She's picked up that ultimate orb.
Tiny Wisp relocate coming in on the mid. They're trying to find this Bloodseeker, but he's already walked away. I don't think they'll find him before it's done.
And he's just porting out and gets away perfectly fine. This
Got
Queen of
the-
Pain is pretty close in on bot. I wonder if she's planning to do anything about this. She has no ult up, not for 65 seconds.
like she's
She
gonna
might
run
into
straight into this Medusa.
but I don't think anything's going to happen here. Even if they did see each other, I don't think either can kill either of them can kill each other.
Yeah, so in the meantime, this Lena did end up picking up her Yules. Bloodseeker went for the Sanj and Yasha. Pretty standard for Bloodseeker. Medusa probably heading into the Manta style right now. She could just be going the casual Yasha and using an ultimate orb for something else like a Linken's. We do see the Rupture come out on the line. He's going to get caught out here, and he's definitely going to end up going down.
That is a dead lion right there.
On the backside, this Tiny decides to go in, but he may end up regretting this decision. He's still alive for now.
Just ring around
Nice
the
little
trees
juke.
right here.
They will film the stun on the IO, and that's likely the death of the IO. Boat comes in, and he actually will catch quite a few with that boat. Very nicely played. They try and pick off the Vengeful Spirit on the back end, but they just don't have the damage to do anything here. In the meantime, the Axe going to stand on the front lines, take a little bit of damage, but he's going to be just fine, and they just turn it into a 2-for-1 trade, with the Vengeful Spirit being the only casualty on the Radiant side.
On the plus
Alright,
side, it's just supports for support. You know, it's with all this action, there was only supports that went down, so it's not really that huge of an impact for either team, really.
There was a
And
double
Bloodseeker
damage
does
rune
finish
sitting
up
top
his-
that whole time, so that could have really helped out in the fight, but Bloodseeker will grab it now and take these Ancients with it.
And this should heal him up pretty well. He does have a Sangiyasha. And we do see the Mets. No! Oh, Charlie, they do it again.
Yeah, going right for the Scotty. Going with the casual Yasha, and she'll pick up her 2 ultimate orbs, so she'll be going right into Scotty as opposed to Lincoln's or anything else.
I mean, she had the Manta, the Yasha and the Ultimate Orb, so I thought Manta, but whatever. So yeah, she does go for the Scotty, and she is only, 1k gold away from the Scotty, so that should make her so tanky. She's going to be very difficult to gank with this Tiny Wisp combo. The Yules
Dire
is up
R.
on the support Lina, which is pretty good timing for her. And I wonder what
Dire
this
all just
Fate
clumped
Note
up
could be.
mid. It looks like they're trying to either contest this creep push or they're trying to set something funny up mid and try to get a fight going in their favor, because they are, only 8 kills to the Radiant's 25, so they really need something to go their way. Otherwise, they might just get totally stomped on as Medusa and Axe just get bigger and bigger.
What they might want to do is pick up a smoke because they're all grouped up together, but they're not good. But the vision on both teams is pretty good. Looking at items though, it looks like this Kunkka is going to go for a Shadow Blade.
Relocate bottom.
There's nothing here.
Yeah, they get instantly pinged out. I'm not really sure what they were going for
There
there.
was a Lina, but she was long gone by the time they casted Relocate. And they're just going to get out perfectly fine and regroup mid.
What do you think this Stuff of Wizardry on the Queen of Pain is going to be?
I say Axe.
Well, the only reason why I say maybe not Ags is if you get Ags, usually I would see a point booster picked up first.
I
Well, you see
agree
the
that
Queen
I
Pain-
usually pick up Point Booster first, but if she needs the mana, if she needs the intelligence, then that might be the choice for her.
I wonder if they're going to scout out this axe here. There's 3 dire heroes around, and the axe is going back to farming.
Looks like
Not
mid.
worried at all.
Kunkka's gonna get tossed onto this Vengeful Spirit. She will stun the Kunkka, but brought back in with the X marks the spot. And Tiny's just gonna keep hitting her. Drums are popped. Rupture onto the Tiny. He's running away from this Bloodseeker right now. He's pretty tanky, so it's not doing that much damage. But Kunkka's gonna get melted by the Lina ult. Tiny stunned up by the Lina.
Turn it a little bit here. We do see the stun coming out from the line and his ult as well, but they're not going to quite bring down the Bloodseeker, and he's going to end up just walking away from this one. Oh, the
Unless
Wisp
the-
trying so hard.
Yeah. Wisp is
Yeah,
walking
if
as
it-
fast as he can, but Bloodseeker's just so fast with his thirst right now.
Yeah,
How many
if
stacks
this
does he
Tiny
have?
was dead... Oh, just 1. But if this Tiny was dead, well, now he has 2.
Axe does get a kill on the Queen of Pain. I did miss that when I was looking at Bloodseeker running really fast, but just another
you're
kill
fast.
under Axe's belt.
Okay, a Dagon for this Bloodseeker. That's an interesting pickup.
He's just trying to do as
And-
much damage as he can before he gets stunned up or locked down.
Tiny is obviously going for his axe first. He is only 1,600 gold away. Queen of Pain, we will see what she goes for. We see the makings of the Shadow Blade on the Kunkka. Nothing really.
Looks like they're gonna try to
for the
deny this
line
tower
quite
mid.
yet.
And Tiny gets it in one hit.
And we do see the Met coming out on the IO in just 650 gold because, that's a pretty obvious pickup because of the good synergy with Tether and Mech.
So it looks like both teams are kind of clumping up in their mid, kind of scared to cross all the way across the river. Because fights could go either way at this point. There's a lot of lockdown from both sides and a lot of damage coming out from both teams now with the items they picked up.
And it does look like Axe
Radiant are
is actually going
smoked,
for Shiva.
and they are wrapping around to the Dire side shop, or secret shop, but the Tiny Wisp do relocate out.
Yeah, they relocate top for gank on Axe, and it looks like they're going to get it, but the Wisp might bring him right back into the Radiant team, and they
Really good swap from
immediately
the Vengeful
take out
Spirit.
both the Wisp and the Tiny.
Yeah, they had no way of
Alright.
knowing that the whole team was going to be down there. It ends up costing them a little bit.
Yeah, there's
So
a
they lose
little
the
bit of a
Axe
lacking
for-
of dire vision on the bot lane.
They traded their axe for the tiny wisp. What do you think of that? Is that terrible or is that recoverable?
I mean, they
That's
still came
great.
out 800 gold and 1300 experience ahead. So if you're the dire side, that was actually awesome.
Sort of. Sure, the dire side gained more gold out of it, but you also have to look at it. How is the dire side going to win this game? They're going to win this game through the tiny. If the tiny dies, well, then it's harder to win this game. So, and the axe isn't what's going to be the carry of these wolves. The Radiant need this Medusa to get fat, and this Medusa is just eating.
Looks like Dire are going to rotate in to try to stop this push by the Bloodseeker and the Vengeful Spirit. Bloodseeker taking a couple tower hits, but what else can he do to live through this? He's gone.
Yeah, a little bit of an overextension on his part, and taking a look at Medusa, not going to the Manta style, going for an S and Y. How do we feel about that one?
Wow. I mean, just last year, S&Y was like the joke item.
Relocate
And
up on the
we used to
Medusa, trying to get her
relocate
down as far as I
from
can.
From this tiny wisp, and the Medusa, of course, just pops her ult. I mean, that's what we kind of expected, and she's going to easily take out this. Whoa, she's
She
not
cannot
going to
take out the wisp. She gets tossed in
but
place.
she's probably going to take out this tiny. This Lena follows up. Boat chases him off though, and the tiny's able to escape. Okay.
Yeah, nothing really comes out of that.
The
Relocate.
axe is chasing down this Queen of Pain though, and he might get the kill anyway with the battle hunger. And he just farms up, cuts the lane, and looks like they're just going to push down this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, there's really not much they can do to stop him. Fortify's down, so.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
There's one tower left on the in the lanes for the dire side, but on the other side, they haven't taken a single tower from the Radiant side. So that's
They've barely done any damage, too. All the towers are sitting above half health, if not full health.
yeah. It's indicative of how the game's gone, but I mean, maybe not the worst thing in the world because that there's a lot of this gold advantage is sitting in those towers, and if they're able to find a couple of pushes, they might actually be able to get a few items that way.
Alright, what are Bloodseeker and Axe planning in this mid lane? They're camped out somewhere very intentionally.
I
Oh no, I'm just looking at items right now. I think Kunku's about to go for a crit, and looks like the
Looks
axe
like they're
jumps on
jumping
this
in on
lion,
mid.
and he.
that one ended
It's
rather.
like that's what they were planning, yeah.
abruptly. It's a support, so I guess the best case scenario if you're going to lose someone is probably to lose that lion or maybe the wisp, depending on.
But it's still gold in the Radiant's pockets that Dire doesn't want them to have. They have to play really safely. Can they not leave their high ground anymore? They're getting so out-rotated and out-moved.
That's kind of funny because the Dire team are the ones that have the tiny wisp, so they should be the ones that are good at initiating. But there is an axe and a Bloodseeker on the other team, so it's kind of difficult. I mean, they're both good at initiating. Okay, so the
Axe
axe jumps
jumping
in
in.
on this IO tiny
Zoning
wisp.
boat.
And,
I hope that's part of
The wisp has survived right now, and they're actually going to keep him alive for now, but he's going to end up going down. However, he's kind of done what he needed to do for the time being. The fight's going to break out, but it's all clumped together, so Axe is able to get a lot of damage out, but he does end up going down. It's going to be 3 down on the Dire side, with 2 going down on the Radiant side for now. Tiny buys back as another does go down, as Kuka goes down. Lion goes down as well to the Medusa, and can they bring this Medusa down? I really don't think they have the
No.
damage, even if Tiny is able to just sit here and hit on her for...
Dire's top
I don't
tower
know.
is being attacked.
I think
I think
Medusa and
Chase
Lena
across
should
the
have
map and she
turned
would
around
have
on that
been
one. Like Lena
think
didn't
this-
have the mana for anything, but the Medusa could have just kited him. She's got that Scotty, and that Sangayasha, and that main does stack with that Scotty, so that would have been just constant slow for that Tiny. And he would have never
fight-
gotten away. He would have never been able to really lay into that Medusa.
I think that fight definitely sealed the deal for the Radiant. I think it's all but over with that. They were able to completely wipe the Dire team, and then Tiny bought back, and Tiny couldn't even get anything out of it, so it was just pretty much a wasted buyback for this
Yeah.
Dire team.
Yeah, we're seeing about 20k gold lead for the Radiant. along with about the same for experience. And we do see a DD on this Medusa. I don't know what she's going to do with it, though, because she is almost completely What would you like to see Medusa pick up next? She's got 3k gold. Are we going to see maybe the butterfly?
I'm gonna say rapier. I know it's not gonna happen, but I can always dream. I mean,
Okay.
how are they gonna kill her? She's not killable at this point. Why not make her do as much damage as possible?
Well, if you want to, have the risk, you can, get her a butterfly and then...
And then what? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily a great butterfly game. There's not a whole lot of right click. I mean, the only right click really is coming out from Tiny. It's not really coming out from anybody else. That being said, it's also not a great Lincoln game, which is something that you see coming out a lot from
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
the Medusa. Sorry, I just lost. I think we lost Steve.
Fortify immediately coming out for the Radiant team, but it looks like they might lose their bottom tower. Not without a fight, though. They're all porting in. They're getting ready for a big fight here.
Radiant's bottom tower has been destroyed.
Bloodright will connect on only Tiny.
That's a moral victory. They took down their first tower of the game, but they're going to end up paying for it pretty dearly here. On the front side, we do have them bringing down the Bloodseeker, but on the back side, we have a really nice call coming out from the Axe. He's able to catch 3 and deal a lot of damage. They bring down the Tiny and the Wisp. They're going to work on bringing down 2 more. Nice stun coming out from Lion, but this is all just delaying the inevitable at this point. The boat comes out from Kunkka, but...
Connects on all 4, but there's not much they can do for follow-up. He's just going to run for his life at this point.
About as good of a boat as you can ask for, but you've already lost 3. It's a 3-for-1 trade, and I mean, at this point, even a great initiation and good team fight from the Radiant side, or Dire side, is not going to...
They know Kunkka's around, but there's not much they can do. He's Shadow Bladed, but when will it expire? Is he going to be able to get away without the Axe finding him? Axe does blink ahead, and... No, Kunkka will make it to high ground before his Shadow Blade runs out.
Top tower is being attacked.
He doesn't have a TP, so he's going to have to walk around, but he should be all fine walking around here. Queen of Pain, meanwhile, not going to be so lucky. She's going to get called up and going to end up going down.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
And I
This
think
Axe
they
is
look to go
fearless
high
at this
ground.
point. He's just chasing in Dire heroes on their own high ground with no protection from the tower, but he's not scared. He's able to do the damage he needs to bring them down.
Yeah, and he's sitting on a casual point booster right now. He could choose to go to any number of things.
Swap coming out on the IO. Axe blinking in and calling, and IO will pop.
Another kill there, and Lion going to take a little bit of damage here, and yeah, okay, the Dagon comes in, and they bring him down really quickly here.
We're a couple seconds from a GG, honestly. I don't feel that the Dire think they have any chance left in this game. The Tiny Wisp was a great idea in theory, but they don't have the mobility. They don't have the ability to move around the map.
Yeah, I think they really just gave up way too much in the laning phase, and you gave up a lot in the laning phase, and you allowed Medusa to find her farm, and I mean, she doesn't really bring a whole lot to the laning phase, so I think they lost this one really early on.
Yeah, Axe isn't even afraid of this backdoor protection. He's taking down the tower even without any creeps there. Any creeps on his side of the river, in fact.
Yeah, Medusa does look like, I mean, for what it's worth, she's going for the butterfly.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
Alright, what's left for the Dire here? Is there anything they can do, or should they just tap out? Is there any fight that they could take that would, realistically turn this for them and allow them to push onto the Radiant side and get more towers and more XP for themselves?
In short, no. I
What
think
a
it
call
ends
right there. Yeah, I think this might be the last fight. Ult's being popped everywhere, and there's the
man.
GG. Tiny does call it out.
The-
And really well fought by the Radiant. Really cool rotations, and just a really great laning phase that just kept going their way.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the laning phase, all 3 lanes were won by the Radiant side pretty convincingly. There wasn't really anything that the Dire side could come away and say that they did well in the laning phase. I think they just gave away too much early on. They didn't make any rotations, and then that just translated into an absolute stomp in the mid-game.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we did lose Steve right towards the end there, but we were able to catch most of the game. This is Western Wolves. I believe they won the first game, so this will be a 2-0 best of 2 for them. It's not a full series, so it wouldn't have gone to 3 games regardless. But it was well played by both teams. I think at the end of the day, Shadows of the Lost just gave up too much in the early game.
Yeah, I think, the Radiant had one of those lineups where if you start giving them experience, giving them good lanes, giving them good pickoffs. They're just not going to stop. They can just keep rolling with it onto high ground and up to the victory.
All right, so that will be the last game for the night. Unfortunately, we missed the first game of the series, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I am Charlie, and casting here with Anne E. and
Annie, yes.
and Steve, although Steve is gone. So thanks everybody for tuning in. If you want to go ahead and check us out on obviously twitch.tv/ES_casting. You can also check us out on escasting.com. We'll have these videos up on youtube.com/c/EScastingTV. And we'll have all of our future casts posted on our Twitter. And we are ES_casting there as well. Annie, is there anything you'd like to plug?
I'm actually a really new caster. I'm just getting started. So I do have a YouTube called Annie Casts. And if you want to check that out, I appreciate all the feedback I'm getting. And that'd be super cool. So I hope you enjoyed.
All right, thank you, everybody. And we're going to go ahead and sign off.
All right. Bye.